It didn't make the record sound. Doesn't it usually make the record sound? Okay. Happy Bow Tie Friday. I'm Austin Griffith. Welcome. We're hanging out with the Build Guild. Every Friday we get together, every other Friday maybe, we get together, throw on bow ties and show off what we're working on with Scaffold-eth. Today we have Aakansha presenting first, then Supernovahs and Alex and Chris Kag. Aakansha, if you're ready, take it away. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this one is the demo of OX splitswise like starter kit. I had posted the video, but wanted to present here too. So yeah, let me start sharing the screen.
Can you see it? Yep, 2 panes.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, as I mentioned, this is the demo of OX splits like starter kit, where users can claim funds from the contract based on the percent that has been assigned to them while the contract is deployed. So I have 2 users right now, where you can see that the split ratio for the first user is 50% and the second one is 25%. And right now the contract does not have any balance. So this contract can handle both ERC20 and Ether, but right now the UI is just showing the Ether funds. So ETH, which has been claimed by the user 1, is 0, and ETH to claim is 0 because the contract does not have anything. So we'll just send some Ether to this contract right now. And we see that the split balance, the contract balance becomes 1 Ether. So the total Ether received is 1. And if we check, the ETH to claim becomes 0.5. And for the second user, it becomes 0.25. And the remaining 25% is reserved for the third user, which is not shown right now. So let's go and claim some Ether for the first user. So I'll click claim, and the ETH claim for the first user becomes 0.5. And now before the second user claims it, let's send some more Ether to this contract, and we'll see how the Ether can be claimed based on the Ether that is sent to this contract. So I am sending some more Ether, and total ETH received becomes 1.5. Now ETH to claim again becomes 0.25, which is 50% of the 0.5 ETH which was sent to the contract, right? So the person had already claimed 50% of the first Ether sent before. Now the person has to claim the 50% of the last 0.5 Ether which was sent. So I'll go ahead and claim, and I can see that the ETH claim becomes 0.75, which you can see is 50% of 1.5 ETH which was claimed. Now let's go to the second user, and we'll see that the ETH claimed is 0 right now, and the person can claim 0.375, which is again 25% of the total Ether. So I'll go ahead and claim ETH, and the ETH claim becomes 0.375 and the ETH to claim becomes 0. So this is a demo where the users are claiming the funds from the contract based on the percentage, and now the remaining ETH which is left in the contract is reserved for the third user. So now the contract also handles your ERC20, but right now it's not shown. So yeah, that was the demo. Thank you.
Good build. So there's a main amount of money, and then that's being split between the 2 different panes. Is that what I'm seeing correctly? There's a lot of numbers there. I was confused. I'm kind of sleep deprived.
So yeah. So right now it has been set for 3 users. Okay. I'm just showing 2 users. So the first user has 50%, the second user has 25%, and third. Yeah, you can set the percentage while you are deploying the contract. So
Okay,
Yeah.
so the 50% dude is on the left and the 25% dude is on the right, and then there's another 25% dude we can't see. And you're just going through showing how they can check how much they can claim, and they get a percent of the amount that goes in. Very cool stuff. One thing I'm noticing here is the way you're doing Scaffold-eth reads. It looks like you have like a button that you're clicking, and it's loading the value into the state, and then you're displaying it. With Scaffold-eth, you can use there's like a use contract reader hook, and you can just have that hook, and it'll always be checking. So
Okay.
yeah, it would be in your app.jsx. It would be in your front end, but you could set it up so there's a hook that's basically reading those values all the time. So anytime they change, your front end will just update instead of having to do the little button click to do the read. Just like a little Scaffold-eth hint there.
Oh, it's there in the app.jsx, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
We'll
right now
check
we're
that.
looking at your token,
Yeah,
contract.
this is
vessel.
just the
Oh, okay.
contract. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, if you want to dive, we can go look at it just for a second. If you go over to the left, you've got your React app. If you just go to the source folder and go to the app, yeah, that right there. If you just scroll down a little bit, you'll find that hook. And basically what you do is you supply it with, keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Yeah, right. We're getting close.
Okay, this is the gas.
Yeah, there's the one where the purpose is. Yeah, keep going, because they're the read contract right there. Lines 170 is a good example, where it's just keeping that purpose variable loaded in the state. And so you go, excuse me, you go to your contract and you read the purpose from it. So you could copy that and get some of those values that you're reading and just have them up to date in your state and just have them displayed. So then anytime they change, they'll just show up in your front end. Just a little tweak and a little hack there. Okay. Good build, Aakansha. You need to keep building. We need to keep you around. I keep saying we need to find something awesome for you. Emu and I think are both thinking about it. I think keep going down like the educational journey, right? If there's something that you want to learn, go learn that thing. If you just run into a wall and you're looking for something to learn and we don't have something for you, we'll find something for you. Keep hitting us up, keep building cool stuff. Yeah, I don't know, just keep building cool stuff. Don't disappear.
Yes, for sure. I won't.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Okay, I think Supernovahs is up next. I don't remember, is Supernovahs working on the ZK-QD stuff or something new? Let's find out. Supernovahs, take us away. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, there you. Yep, we got you.
Oh, it says to just close the Zoom and come again.
Oh,
So
no, permission errors. Okay, we can skip to Blind Enabler and have him show off, and then you can pop back in and we can go to you. Does that work?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Alex? Are you ready to present?
Indeed, I am. Hello.
Do it.
Morning.
Let's do it.
All right. So I guess I technically actually have two things to show off today.
Of course.
If we want to show off some cool stuff. So I'll start off with kind of what I've been showing off lately.
Wait. We see your privacy. Careful there. I think we're looking at.
I think that's not Supernova. I think
that's Supernovahs. Yeah, we see
Okay.
we see your screen, Supernovahs.
Okay.
Wait, so maybe it's working? So maybe we should go Supernovahs? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. Yeah, I think Supernovahs has you have it. Go for it, Supernovahs.
Okay, so the first build is just a little tool, so you can generate your NAT spec for Solidity contracts like author, title, and the stuff. So I poked it from transmissions, and I'll just show you some demo. So here, if you just write author in your CLI, and here you can enter the title of the contract, the name of the person, the contact of the person, and just then the the notice state. And then if I just click on this, then you can see, so it generates the NAT spec, and it is copied on my clipboard, so I can just paste it somewhere. So it automatically just pastes. So it's just a little tool just I wanted to show off. And the second is this WorldZag. So I made this with my friend for a Eth Global Hackathon. So this is like a public billboard. I built it 3-4 months back also, but this time I used WorldCoin. so that we know a unique human is voting for the ads. But so currently I'm using the DevNet, so you can, as I don't think anyone has their iris scanned, so we are basically using the DevNet. So you can just vote on a favorite blockchain. So you can see that Polygon has the most votes, so it covers the most space in the billboard, and so it is in decreasing order. So if I just click on vote, it says I am a unique person. So I just have to click on it to grab the QR code, and here's the simulator. So it is not a real simulation, but it's for development purpose. So I will just connect it with my MetaMask, and now I will sign a message. So it will generate an identity. So yeah, then you can just copy the code and paste it here. I hope it works. Sometimes the simulator is down. Okay. So it will okay, it worked. So I will verify that I am indeed voting for it. So I will click on verify, and it says your identity is confirmed. And then it says the cost. So currently it is the cost for me 0.04 matrix. So I will hit on fund, and I will pay 0.04 matrix. So this billboard is based on a quadratic formula. So every time I vote for Polygon, the cost will increase by 0.01 every time. So yeah.
And
If I just
a lot of the
update-
problem with using quadratic math is the Sybil resistance. So you're just using WorldCoin for the Sybil resistance and then using quadratic math for the display. That's fun.
Yeah.
As long as you don't vote for BSC there. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So it should work. Okay. It is loading, I think. So I will move on just to the next one. So a simple update on ZK vote. So I had worked with a friend for a UI. So this is the new UI, and I have removed the Warner wallet because users would just give a lot more friction. So I can enter some random string, create my identity. So I think, yeah, so it has shown. So this is my identity, and I can go on new. Okay, I have not connected my wallet. Okay, so you can enter the proposal name, voting, and I have changed make some changes. So here you have to enter the addresses now, so that we can just distribute funds to the addresses. So I made some some demo proposals. Yeah, so this is the UI. The admin can add voters. This is the description. This is the status of the voting, and this is the ID. This is the title. So anyone can just go here and open. So it says these two addresses are currently being on proposal. So they have 0 votes at now, and this is the start time of the vote. This is the end time. Yeah, it's some problem here, and you can just basically vote anything. And then after the voting ends, anyone can call disperse to basically send the funds to all the proposal grantees in the ratio of the vote received. So yeah, so this is some update. There are some bugs. Yeah, so basically this was my builds. Yeah.
This is cool. You've really cleaned this up. I was a little lost with the identity stuff at the beginning. Could we touch on the identity stuff again?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so you took the burner wallet out, but it looks like you still generate some kind of a burner here. Is it just generating an ECDSA key pair using like BIP39 and the text, or what's happening here when you generate this identity?
So if I enter a string hello world, so first wallet will sign it, and then it will return a hash. So a hash or deterministic hash, and then I will enter that hash to the identity function. So it's an SDK provided by the semaphor protocol. So it uses, I think, RLP circuits or something like that. So it generates these three things. These are the two private keys, I think, and using these two, we can generate this. So this is a different thing. It is not ECDS here. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wondering.
WorldCoin also uses
yep,
this thing. Yeah.
So you land on the app and you sign a
Yeah.
message with your normal wallet, and all of that is
Yeah.
happening behind the scenes and no one knows about it. And somehow from that signed message, you derive an account, and that account is somewhat anonymous and somewhat disconnected from your normal identity. And then you use that account to vote on how funding should be distributed. And everyone can see these sort of slightly anonymous accounts and everyone can see the votes, but they don't know what anonymous accounts go to what actual real identities. Is that a pretty good way to say it? And then after all the votes are calculated, you can distribute funds and it splits based on how people voted. Maybe it's using quadratic math, but basically there's this identity system where the voters, if it's me and Carlos and Zach and we're all voting on how we should distribute funding, we come in here and sort of quietly create an anonymous account, and then we do all of our voting with the anonymous account. So people who are looking at the votes can't tell who voted for what. They just know these anonymous accounts voted that the split should look like this, and then we pay people out. I think I'm explaining that right, but did I miss something there, first of all?
Yeah, so currently the admin knows everyone's identity because you have to send him. Currently, there's no way for us to prove that we own this identity using our address. So there is no relation currently, but it is in the works in the semaphore. And so currently the admin knows the true identity of everyone, but everyone else will not know. So there is no relation between address and the commitment for now.
Okay, cool. And so what would be the difference instead of using a bunch of ZK math and stuff? What if I just had a server running and had people check in and I dealt them out? If they signed a message and proved that they were Carlos, I just gave them a burner address to go vote with, and we just had everything on chain and we didn't use any semaphore, any ZK stuff. It would still have the same effect, I think. Is that right? Or is this moving to another place where eventually the admin won't have visual on what accounts go to what anonymous accounts?
So currently the admin, you have to just send your identity to the admin, because if you open the function, then you will just enter as many identities as you want and vote arbitrarily. So currently we do need an admin. And regarding the server thing, so the difference is if you have a server, then it's basically that. So in this case, the admin knows, but except admin, no one knows the true identity. But in the case of server, anyone can just hack and know the other person's identity. So in this, we are just trusting the admin. And in the other case, we will just be simply not trusting. Trusting, I mean everyone. So here we are trusting the admin for now.
And is there a way to build this where you don't trust the admin?
But that will just need a new circuits. For that, we will have to use address nullifiers. That is not currently. Yeah.
So it would be a new circuit and some kind of different ZK logic for hiding the users.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Currently,
awesome.
we only have this one. Yeah.
Okay. So this will work. The application here is, if you're okay having a trusted admin, you can basically have the trusted admin set up the ceremony. You can have the trusted admin allow a bunch of voters to come in, and the trusted admin basically takes one anonymous identity from each of the voters and makes that active and lets that one anonymous identity make votes. And at the end, you can see, all of these anonymous identities voted for all of these people, and you could pay it out, and the admin knows who they are, but no one else knows who they are.
Yeah, also another thing is that admin can be basically a multi-sig or a governance contract also, I think. So there's less trust we are giving. So this is also a possibility.
But in the case of a multi-sig, that would mean that every signer on the multi-sig would know somehow the link between the anonymous identities and the real identities.
Yeah, the difficult thing is how to send them, yeah, secretly.
Yep. Okay, cool build. I think Alex is up next with a couple builds. It sounds like good build, Supernovahs. Keep it going. Keep going. Alex, you out there, blind enabler?
Indeed, I am.
Dope. What you working
Brad
on?
Build Supernovahs. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, technically I have two things to show off today. One of them is some progress on an existing build that I showed off before, the TypeScript remake of Eth.Build. And then also showing off some of the progress. I guess, yeah, I mean, you probably want me to show the tech tree off, right? Kind of like give a
Sure.
show the
Yeah.
tech tree. Yeah, so I guess I can start off with the first thing that is the most familiar to people probably, is the TypeScript rebuild of Eth.Build. And so first off, I coordinated with Chris and Olga to help get this thing de-uglified and make it look halfway decent, which is always good because that just is, you know, more visually appealing. And then I also added just some general quality of life stuff. So, you know, stuff such as like these ethers providers, I added in default fallback points. So you don't need to just throw in a JSON RPC endpoint or plug in a chain ID. It defaults to mainnet and my own personal endpoint, which I have. And so it's like, you know, all ready to plug in here and get going. I also technically added in drag and drop display from these output nodes, but it's not quite working. I'm going to change the way it's working a little bit, just because there's some like typing stuff that I want to get right. But anywho, you can see that the JSON RPC endpoint has like a default value, and you can still plug in and overwrite it because it is just, you know, a default value there. And then also some kind of new interesting crypto stuff is that I'm switching over from the traditional kind of like elliptic curve algorithms to where we just use new private keys to like the proper way to, I guess, like quote unquote proper way of encrypting stuff with how the crypto system works on Ethereum. And this is kind of how like Ethers.js tells you to do it, and which is using a shared key. So we're going to do a ECDH, or I guess like an elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman key exchange, in which I use my public key or my private key, and let's say Austin's public key, which generates a deterministic key, which is the exact same as if he used his public key or his private key and my public key, which then we can use symmetric cryptographic methods to properly exchange channels in a public adversarial environment, I suppose. Not 100% functional in the front end yet, but anyway, I thought it was interesting because this is how we do it in Ethers.js. So like Ethers.js has the whole signing key thing, and they don't really like doing things the traditional, the traditional way you do it with like Node.js crypto or any of these other forms of elliptic curves. So anyway, that's more or less all the changes that have been going on here. Some more stuff to be coming. Next things are changing a little bit how these handles are working, and also saving and sharing the current node state based off of the URL, which is going to be pretty exciting, I think. And then secondly, another small build that I have is the ETH dev tech tree. And so this was a build that Austin came to me with to kind of show some of this stuff off. And it comes from these traditional tech trees that you get in, you know, like role-playing games and some of these other types of games, I guess like real-time strategy games and these other games, kind of where you have skills that unlock as you unlock other skills. And so this is, you know, kind of conceptually how development works, because you gain these skills, and then from these skills, like, okay, cool, I can make a simple NFT. Now I can extend this and use, you know, my knowledge of ERC2021 contracts to do something cooler. And, you know, you just kind of progressively unlock this stuff. And so we laid it out in a pretty self-explanatory way in which, you know, users progress to the first 4 challenges of speedrun Ethereum, and then they unlock these new sort of paths that they can go down. And the way this works under the hood is it's some simple JSON code, which makes it super easy to extend stuff and, add these new things. And all this layouting is automatic. So actually, if we go over here, let me share my entire desktop, actually, here. Share my entire desktop, and we can make some quick changes to it on the fly. You guys can see my desktop?
I don't think so.
Oh,
But you could
okay.
just make a change and we could see it show up.
Yeah.
too,
So
like-
anywho, I mean, I'll just switch it over to.
Yeah. No, we do have your desktop. You
Okay.
just switch to a terminal, right? We see the terminal now.
Yeah. So let me just pop this over here, and we'll make it, a top-down flow. And so all the formatting is automatic, which is nice and cool, and makes things extended or makes extending things super simple. So anywho, these are kind of just some of the stuff I'm working on. And actually, one thing actually that would be nice to show off is how this stuff is actually working under the hood, because it's literally just a big different blob of differently categorized JSON objects. So, it has something like an ID, a title, description, link, image, and then dependencies. And so these are kind of the things that it unlocks later on. So the Solidity deep dive, which is between IDs 500 or 500 to 599, over here unlocks unchecked math, which then unlocks delegate call, gas golfing, and Ethernet as potential options here. So we can see the dependencies 501, which goes to unchecked math, and unchecked math unlocks 502, 503, 504. So I'm still not 100% finalized on this structure. I think there's a cleaner, better structure underneath here, but for now, this is still super easy to add and append stuff. And I guess actually, if we wanted to, we can just even do something cool, like a tiny quick one. We can call BTF exclamation point. We can have this as a dependency. It's equal to 505.
I see Carlos called out the extra padding too. Nice.
Oh,
nice
yeah,
job adding
totally.
extra padding.
And so we can see here that
So that new one shows up dynamically now. Is that what happens?
Ethernet
Nice.
and unlocks to BTF. So it makes it super easy to add new stuff. And yeah, the padding thing, I threw this together rather quickly, and I didn't include padding in any of the cells. And Carlos,
We all could tell.
everyone had a knee-jerk reaction. Apparently that's way too sketchy and prototypey. And he had to open up a pull request, which I immersed in promptly to make it a little bit more palatable. It's still very rough, but I guess I have a higher threshold for ugly projects than most people do. So anywho, these are some of the things I've been working on, and happy to show them off.
So the dependency graph works in the opposite direction as I thought it would. I thought you would, let's say we're going to add a new thing to the tech tree that involves a backend and signatures. And so we want to make sure that you finished both the signature and the backend challenge first. So usually I thought the dependencies would go the other way, where to unlock number 502, you need to finish number 500, but you kind of built it the other way around. And I don't know if that's like, that probably will work fine. Basically, as we add things, we probably need to think about how that works.
Yeah.
Just saying it out loud because I noticed it.
Yeah, I know. I still think that there is a better structure in here. That was just the first one that popped into my mind, but I think that I think it does make more sense to actually have dependencies be the actual dependencies for the build you're doing, as opposed to, I guess, what's a better word for that? Unlocks? I don't know.
Yeah. Unlocks versus dependencies. Sort of you've got it in an unlocks kind of nomenclature, and I don't know, maybe that's fine. If that's the way it works, we can start adding to it and see if we run into problems.
Totally.
I don't know, my brain is too mushy to anticipate anything now, but let's see how it works. So basically it's doing okay, so like see that advanced ethers JS right there, kind of right in the middle. If you were to add or if you were to add a child to that, it looks like it would right over the top of that delegate call and that gas golfing. How is it making sure that it leaves space and draws these things without drawing them on top of each other?
Yeah, so we're using a package called dograde.js, which deals kind of with formatting, and so we can actually do that if we want to go to I can't spell, there it is, and we can add another dependency here. So we'll just pop this down. We'll call this 4.2. We'll call this
super advanced.
more.
Okay, cool.
And Oh yeah, we can call it super.
No, don't. You're good. You're good. Leave it where you had it. It's all good.
All right, and we can
All
go
right.
ahead and add these as dependency. So we can go dependency 402.
And basically, it's not a dependency in an unlock. You're adding
Yeah.
an unlock of 402 on the end of 401. Okay, and then it starts spacing everything out. It
Yeah.
knows. Okay, it basically it adds the space between scripts and solidity and kind of moves everything down to make it fit, which
Yep.
is fine. That's great. So we can just
Yeah.
kind of dynamically add things, and this tree will sort of dynamically draw based on what we have. That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I mean, like right now, I don't know what the best visual thing is. These Bezier curves are fine, but there's also other types too. Like if we go over here to, actually, I think it's under. I'm gonna say it's under flow. I actually really don't remember exactly. No, I think it's, it's down here.
And we've got designers on the call now too, right? We're
Yeah, I
lucky
guess
enough
so.
to have some designers. I noticed that Supernova shouted out to share your code. It'd be great if you could share this repo and we could have
Oh,
it
yeah,
in
totally.
part of the notes too. It's a cool enough build that I think people are going to want to fork it.
Yeah, so then there's also these like different types of steps. I don't know which one I like best, kind of as far as showing it all off, but it's rather customizable as far as how we're doing it. So I don't know. We'll see which one is the least ugly out of the bunch, and I'm sure that we'll have plenty of feedback being thrown my way here soon. So
Yep,
great.
I think the main purpose for this right now is kind of like when Aakansha presented earlier her splits. She's thinking about her next project and she's trying to figure out what she does on her own educational journey through Ethereum. Having this tech tree here would be very handy for her because she can look at this and say, how are my scripting skills? How's my solidity skills? How's my zero knowledge skills? And kind of go through this and use this as inspiration for what she should be attacking or learning next. And then we as the Build Guild try to map out this kind of like mind map of all the different things there are to learn, the whole mental model. And hopefully this tree will just make it really easy for a new builder to kind of understand where their blind spots are and be able to go pick out the next project in the line that's going to teach them that next concept. So
yeah,
hopefully that this works as that. Great build.
Absolutely. Yeah, because like that was one of the most daunting things when I first started getting into development was
so much.
I just don't know what I don't know. Right. So it's like, I think I know what I know, but then it's like, oh shit, I actually have all these other things, which are important pieces of the puzzle. And like, this is a really, really good way because it does really give you a roadmap to follow and be like, okay, these are all important different pieces of the Ethereum development stack. It's important to know about infrastructure. It's important to know about DeFi and scripting and all these things, because while you can use GUIs for everything, it really does make your life easier if you learn a little bit of Ethers.js and learn how to automate stuff. And yeah, like 100%. So
and like Nick said, it brings out his competitive spirit. Like you need to earn a collectible for each one of these you knock out.
Totally.
And we haven't figured out how to do that part yet. Like the oracle of have you finished it? This may be just like a multi-sig owned by the Build Guild.
Yeah.
And people may just like submit their builds and we just kind of check them off. I don't know how we're going to do that part. The whole idea of things unlocking, I don't know if we're going to do that. Like we were just thinking, let's make it a map first. It doesn't need to be super interactive. It just needs to be a list of things you can do. But definitely if it like, I want to get in here and start collecting badges, right? Like it totally plays into my like wanting to collect all the different badges and go through the different challenges. And I don't know how the heck we're going to do that, but that's an unsolved problem we still need to figure out. But we do have the auto grader and we have a lot of systems that are close. I think Carlos has an idea there. Were you saying something, Carlos?
I just like thinking, but like for the auto grading stuff, like we should design like every challenge or every
with
every
a
node
test or something.
with a test or something, so we can like automate it. If not, it's not possible. We will have to manually test that. So I was thinking that should we start thinking about how to integrate this with a backend and with where like people can sign in and sign a message with their submissions, or are we still too early for that?
I'm up for it. I just know that's coming, Alex. I think maybe let's just say it out loud. Like basically we have this other system of speedrun Ethereum, and you log in with your wallet, and when you complete one of the challenges, you turn in like, here's the code, here's the live demo, and you sign all of that. I could foresee that layer kind of on top of this thing too, where there's all the challenges and you want to turn in one, you click advanced ethers, you turn in your repo, you turn in the build, and then you sign something, and then that goes to some server and saves and maybe mints you a thing. I think that's coming. I don't know if we need to dive into it right away. I think we probably want to use it as just a roadmap right now, where someone like Aakansha is looking for their next challenge. Let's just give them a website that they can go look at to at least kind of browse through the things that we think are available. And then maybe as a second step, we can start talking about making that with a back end and a full Web3 app that saves stuff.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm just using the same node editor framework that I'm using for ETH Rebuild. And it's super easy to dynamically update this stuff. It's a pretty rad framework, React Flow. So would be pretty straightforward to implement a lot of that stuff. And look forward
so
to
for
it.
instance, if you wanted to bring this functionality into a Scaffold-eth build, it's going to be as easy as just like bringing in some React components, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it literally is. Like the only important note is that you can have these as like subflows too, because it's just this one flow component that matches whatever its parent width and height is. And then from there, you have this contained little node editor, which is really nice.
I think that's, be thinking of this as something that we will extend and maybe even wrap, and you keep it as a nice little tight component, and then eventually we can bring it into Speedrun Ethereum or some other site, and Carlos can kind of help with that integration eventually. But just know that's coming in the long run. Right now, let's just use it as a roadmap though, for folks just who are looking for the next step on their journey. They can drop in here and kind of see, figure out what they don't know, know what you don't know, kind of thing. Yep, that was a great.
Like I think that's already like super helpful. Having like that, like a single, instance of the tech tree, that's also like super helpful, even if you don't have like the badges or progress or anything. So yeah, I like the idea.
And we need to start building out the tech tree. It's always funny. Like I have like 8 people with prototypes that are waiting for me to add the thing that I need to add, and that's what we're always blocked on. So you're about to be blocked on me, and then it's going to wait for a month probably while I burp a baby. Any other builds, Alex? You got a lot of them. No, he's trying to think of one. Don't try to think of one. You're good. This is great.
Yeah, okay,
awesome build.
I'll wait until next Bowtie Friday and show off some more crazy shit I've been working on. But anywho, I'll stop.
Keep going on this. This is great, and this is going to be very useful. We're going to need to start filling in and making some tech tree out of it. Maybe we could get an early deployment where you could just deploy something to some live URL, just so we have something to start showing off people. I would say let's try to do that next week. Like let's try to get a decent tech tree built out, because it looks good enough to be able to do that. I think I even saw maybe a PR for modals or something where someone could click a box and get a little bit more information about it. Maybe like
I remember someone was talking about that.
Maybe I can get a little bit more information about things, and then we need to fill in the JSON and get it ready, and then maybe just get a prototype deployed to some URL that we can start sharing on BuidlGuidl onboarding meetings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I think Chris Keg is up next, and I think probably joined by Olga. What are you guys up to? Doing some artsy stuff, I know it.
Yeah, Olga doesn't want to talk today, but I'll talk for her. Like, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so this is what we're working on. Hi everyone, we're working on building a studio. It's called like KuBe. It's like the first of the name. It's just like it's like part of her name and part of mine. So we're just like basically like trying to help the BuidlGuidl on the design side, because we noticed that there's so many prototypes, like so many builds that even Alex and Supernovahs and Aakansha just showed that they will need some design like help to just like make it more fluid and more increase the user experience. So like this is just like part of like what we're like just a mock-up of the website I'm building on. So yeah, it would be just like a basic website, Web3 website where you connect your wallet. Then we will showcase our NFT projects, because we're, aside of like wanting to help the BuidlGuidl designing like prototypes, we also like want to create high quality NFTs by using generative art or AI, even 3D. So yeah, like our goal will be like I'm gonna talk about it. Okay. So the this is the upcoming project. I used generative art to create this. I think I talked about it before, and Olga is designing the Oni masks for Halloween. So I think that's pretty cool. I've just like pictures about like what it's gonna look like in the future. Yeah, we're gonna do also prints for our community, and yeah, I think that's it for my side. There's no Scaffold-eth build ready yet. I was running some bugs earlier, so yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Sounds good. You were running some dogs? I think maybe I missed that.
Some
Dags?
bugs, sorry, bugs.
Oh, bugs. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I support this a lot. Like, I think that a good Scaffold-eth build is very ugly, and I say that every Friday, and we always see like some awesome ugly builds, and we're talking about being more intentional and taking some things pro. And I think to do that, we're going to need some designers in-house that can just kind of like see these things and see the power of them and see the potential and give them that look and feel that they need to be able to go to the next level. So very excited to have Olga and Chris looking at this stuff and helping us out, make our Scaffold-eth builds a little less ugly. Awesome. Happy
Perfect,
BTF.
yeah.
I think we did it. Anybody else have any other builds before we close it out? Let all the friends go play in Bogota while I hold my baby and be sad and jealous. Last call. All right. Great builds, everyone. Happy Bowtie Friday. Thanks for coming along. See you all next week.
Adios.